Hi first grade. Today's video is titled Name the Time. Today I will learn to show time patterns. Let's review. We learned that there are two types of clocks, an analog clock and a digital clock. An analog clock is a clock that has moving hands. An analog clock also will usually have numbers 1 through 12 marked on it. A digital clock is a clock that does not have moving hands. A digital clock will show digital numbers. Please pay attention to the clocks on the screen. One is an analog clock. That is a clock that is round and has the hands. And the other clock is a digital clock. That is the pink clock that is rectangular in shape. It just has numbers printed on it. Remember, we also learned that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. That means if we start at the 12 and count all the way around the clock by fives, we will have 60 minutes total. Half of 60 is 30, so 1/2 hour equals 30 minutes. If you look at the clock, you see that the minute hand is pointed at the 12. If we count 30 minutes or 1/2 hour from the time shown, we will see that the time is now 1:30. The minute hand would land on the 6. Let's learn. You notice there is a picture of a little girl. She is waking up and it is 7:30 in the morning. She has to leave her house at 8 o'clock. From 7:30 to 8 o'clock is 30 minutes. 30 minutes is 1/2 hour. The little girl in the next picture is shown walking up the steps to her school, and it says school starts at 8:30. From 8 o'clock, when she leaves her house, to 8:30, when she arrives at school, it is 30 minutes. 1/2 hour has passed. Now, if we add 30 minutes to 30 minutes, you get 1 hour. From 7:30 to 8:30 is 1 hour. So it took the little girl 1 hour to wake up, get ready, and get to school. Let's practice. Number 1, you see there are 3 children playing soccer. We have to draw the time. There are 2 clocks. One clock has the hands drawn and the other clock does not. We have to trace the hands on the first clock and draw the hands on the second clock. Let's try. Practice begins at 6 o'clock. Do you see how there is a little hand or short hand drawn to the 6 and the big hand is pointed to the 12? Please trace those hands. If the little hand is pointed at the 6 and the big hand is pointed at the 12, what time is it? Remember, the short hand is the hour hand. So if the short hand is pointed at the 6, that means the hour is 6. The big hand is pointed to the 12. That's your minute hand. Remember, if the big hand is pointed to the 12, that means 00. So the time is 6 o'clock. 6:00. Practice ends at 7 o'clock. So 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock is 1 hour. On the second clock, draw a little hand, your hour hand, pointed to the 7, and the big hand pointed to the 12. That makes 7 o'clock. Look at number 2. Number 2 shows a picture of a man baking cookies or some type of dessert. Let's try to figure this problem out. We start at 3:30, so draw on the first clock the hands needed to make 3:30. Where should the little hand be? Yes, it should be pointed at 3. Where should the minute hand be pointed to? The 6. Let's see how we figure this out. If the little hand is pointed at the 3, that's your hour. The way we figure out that we need to draw the minute hand pointed to the 6 is by counting by fives. So let's start. Start at the 12 and you count to 1. 1 is 5, 2 is 10, 3 is 15, 4 is 20, 5 is 25, 6 is 30. So the small hand should be on the 3 and the big hand should be on the 6 because the 6 is the minutes and that's 30. So on the first line, write 3:30, 2, and it says we finish at 4:30. So on the second line, write 4:30. If we start at 3:30 and we end at 4:30, a full hour has passed. So 3:30 to 4:30 is 1 hour. On the second clock, draw your time of 4:30. The little hand should be drawn to the 4, and the big hand should be drawn to the 6. Remember, the 6 equals 30, counting by 5. So starting at the 12, making our way, let's start. 12 is 0, 0, 0, 1, 1 is 5, 2 is 10, 3 is 15, 4 is 20, 5 is 25, 6 is 30. So what time is it? 4:30. Great job, first grade. Keep practicing. I know you have a couple pages that you need to work on in your book. Keep up that good work.